This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock. Now, with our live coverage of the NBA Draft Lottery, here's Bob Costas.
Halftime of Game 7 at the Garden between the Knicks and the Bulls, remarkably with Patrick Ewing scoreless and John Starks with just 1 point. The Knicks lead by 1 over the Bulls, 38-37. Now on to the NBA Draft Lottery being held this year at the NBA studio in Secaucus, New Jersey. The NBA Draft itself will be held on June 29th at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. Today, the order of selection will be determined by the lottery. This is the 10th annual lottery. It was introduced in part to remove the possibility of teams with poor records losing intentionally in order to secure a high pick in the draft based solely on order of finish. It's not clear who the first pick will be this year, but here's a look at some of the top prospects. Most NBA observers say one of these 3 players will go number 1. Purdue's versatile forward Glenn Robinson, the 6'8" junior who led the nation in scoring this past season, averaging 30 points a game, is perhaps the top pick. Another possibility is 3-time All-American Grant Hill. Duke's 6'8" swingman played in 3 NCAA title games in his 4 years in Durham, winning twice. And if it's a point guard thereafter, Jason Kidd of Cal could be the man. This past season, the 6'4" sophomore enhanced his reputation as the nation's best at his position. 2 junior forwards, Michigan's Juwan Howard and Connecticut's Donyell Marshall, will also be highly sought. And 2 centers figure to be among the top several picks, North Carolina's Eric Montross and George Washington's Yinka Dare, both 7-footers. And, of course, there are many others we don't have time to mention among the talent that will flow into the NBA this year. Now on to the rules, and believe me, especially this year, you had best pay attention. And even then, no one's going to dish you if you don't get it all, because I recorded what you're about to see, and I'd hate to have to take a test on it, but at least it will give you the general idea, so let's roll it. This year, the NBA is using a modified draft lottery system designed to increase the chances of the teams with the worst records winning one of the first 3 picks, while decreasing the odds of the teams with the best records. This change came about after last year's lottery, when Orlando, with just 1 chance out of 66, won the lottery, while Dallas, the team with the worst record, ended up with the 4th pick. Under the new system, the worst team, again the Mavericks, has seen its chances of winning the first pick increase from 17% to 25%. Meanwhile, Charlotte, the team with the best record in the lottery, would have had a 1.5% chance to win the top pick under the old system, as Orlando was lucky enough to do last year, but this year, their chances are down to just 0.5%. Under the NBA's new system, 14 ping pong balls numbered 1 through 14 will be placed in a drum, and 4 balls will be drawn to the top. There are 1,001 possible combinations when 4 balls are drawn out of 14 without regard to the order in which the balls are drawn. Prior to the lottery, combinations were divided among the 11 lottery teams. The team with the worst record in the league, Dallas, has 250 combinations, giving it a 25% chance of drawing the first pick. Think of it as you would a raffle with a limited number of tickets sold. The more tickets you hold, the greater your likelihood of winning. Now, that's no misprint for Milwaukee. By having identical records, Detroit, Minnesota, and Milwaukee divided the chances allotted for slots 2, 3, and 4 as evenly as possible, but the Bucks drew the short straw. For each of the first 3 selections, 4 balls will be drawn from the drum. A chart listing all 1,000 assigned combinations and the team holding each combination will then be consulted. If, for example, balls 2, 4, 11, and 14 are drawn, the chart would be consulted to see which team was assigned that combination of numbers. The first 3 picks are determined by this lottery system. Then, the order of selection of the remaining 8 teams will be determined by inverse order of their regular season records. This guarantees the team with the worst record, Dallas, of no worse than the 4th overall pick. Unquestionably a more complicated system, but it is also more equitable. And if you thought I was done with you, there are 2 more things. First, regarding Detroit, Minnesota, and Milwaukee with their identical records, each obviously has an excellent chance of winding up among the first 3 picks. But a blind draw has determined that if any or all of them have to be slotted outside the lottery according to inverse order of finish, they will choose in this order: Pistons, Timberwolves, and then Bucks. Also, Charlotte, tiny as its chances would be to begin with, isn't actually in the lottery anyway, having traded away its pick. Philadelphia gets either its own pick or Charlotte's, whichever is better. Seattle gets the worse of those two picks. The actual drawing has just been conducted in a separate room under the supervision of NBA Deputy Commissioner Russ Granick. The process was witnessed by representatives of the 11 lottery teams, different representatives from the individuals sitting here. Also there was Mark Manoff, a partner in the international accounting firm of Ernst & Young. Mr. Manoff is the only person in the studio who knows the results, including Commissioner David Stern. And he's serious about it, as you can see. Here are the team, this is serious business, and here are the team representatives from the Seattle Supersonics, owner Barry Ackerley. From the Los Angeles Lakers, Vice President of Marketing Frank Mariani, GM Jerry West, declined to attend, saying that what it represents made him feel uncomfortable. Lakers outside the playoffs for the first time since 1976. Representing the Boston Celtics, one of the greatest players in league history, three-time MVP, Larry Bird. From the Sacramento Kings, a member of their ownership group, Rick Gilchrist. From the Los Angeles Clippers, Hall of Famer, Vice President and General Manager of the Clippers, Elgin Baylor. Representing the Philadelphia 76ers, Director of Player Personnel, Gene Shue. From the Washington Bullets, one of their captains, Tom Gugliotta, himself a first-round pick as he was taken 6th in the '92 draft. From the Milwaukee Bucks, Vice President of Basketball Operations and Head Coach, Mike Dunleavy. Representing the Minnesota Timberwolves, their president, Bob Stein. From the Detroit Pistons, Director of Player Personnel, Billy McKinney. And finally, from the Dallas Mavericks, an alternate on the NBA Board of Governors, Ronnie Carter. Commissioner David Stern will open the envelopes representing the selection order 11 through 1. Keep in mind that since slots 4 through 11 are determined by inverse order of regular season finish, only the first 3 positions are actually determined by the lottery. And now to announce the order of the first 11 picks of this year's NBA draft, here's the Commissioner, David Stern.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the NBA Draft Lottery. Everyone has been briefed on the lottery procedures, so let's get started and see who picks where in the 1994 NBA Draft. The 11th pick goes to the Seattle Supersonics.
That's a pick that would have belonged to Charlotte.
The 10th pick goes
to trade.
To the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's an inverse order selection, so form holding so far.
The 9th pick goes to the Boston Celtics.
That's where Boston would be according to inverse order of finish.
The 8th pick goes to the Sacramento Kings.
That's their new logo, but no new luck. That's just where inverse order of finish would have placed
them. The 7th pick goes to the Los Angeles Clippers.
So far, no surprises.
The 6th pick goes to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Again, that's where they would have been slotted.
The 5th pick goes to the Washington Bullets.
Not a surprise yet.
The 4th pick goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Well, Milwaukee moved up a little bit, but...
Which teams have the first 3 picks in the 1994 NBA
Milwaukee,
draft?
Detroit, and Dallas.
The 3rd pick in the 1994 NBA draft goes to the Detroit Pistons.
Milwaukee and Dallas.
The 2nd pick in the 1994 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
Mike Dunleavy raises his arms in jubilation.
The first pick in the 1994 NBA draft goes to the Milwaukee Bucks. Come on up, Mike Dunleavy.
So when we come back, we'll hear from Mike Dunleavy, the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Last year, with their first-round pick, they took Vin Baker out of Hartford, which proved to be a very inspired selection for them. Baker did well, and we'll talk with Dunleavy about their having the #1 pick overall after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA.
Her inquisitive mind, her desire to learn, her willingness to work, her need to achieve. All the pieces that add up to your need to learn all you can about college funding. So when your child is ready for college, you will be too. Her senior year, Dean's List. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Here's Weber in the open court, going all the way. Oh, brother, what a move by Weber. And the Sixers take over on the turnover. Julius. Oh. 82-80. Tries a long, wow, hook shot. Good.
And here come the bricks on the break. Flores credit over to Raheem Olajuwon, who throws up a prayer.
I love this game.
Here's Mike Dunleavy just before they announced whether it would be the Mavericks or the Bucks in the #1 slot, and obviously it is Milwaukee, the Dallas Mavericks, with the worst record in the league. Last year they had the worst record, had to settle for the 4th pick, did a bit better. They wind up #2, but here's Milwaukee in the #1 spot, and here is Mike Dunleavy joining us. I mentioned Vin Baker did well with him last year, but now you have the #1 pick overall. What are you going to do with it?
Well, I think from our standpoint, we need size. Obviously, I need to go back and talk with my owner and see, where we stand and there's possibilities of doing anything with the pick, but I like Glenn Robinson a lot.
If it came down to Glenn Robinson and Grant Hill, would Glenn Robinson be the guy?
I think what it comes down to is that, in today's league and the way things have gone is that you need to interview players. You still need to sit down with them. You need to see and work them out. You need to talk with them because there's a lot going on with the amount of money that players are being paid right now. And I think character means an awful lot as far as in the selecting process. You want guys with good character. You want guys who, when they're paid all this money, it's not going to mean, I look at it the way I look at Magic Johnson, is I know no matter what he got paid, night in, night out, he's going to be there to play ball.
It's a draft rich in forwards and swingmen. You could also use a center. Any chance you trade the pick?
I would never say never about anything as far as, our position. My job as both coach and general manager is to make the best deal possible for our team. And I think in the time I've been in Milwaukee, we've looked at trades, we've looked at free agents, and we looked through the draft. And those are 3 ways you build a better team. So, we're going to explore all those areas.
Obviously, you not only had a record poor enough to have a good chance of getting the #1 pick statistically, but the season really ended on a down note for you guys. You're in a tailspin as the season ended. Do you worry about a carryover?
Well, the thing you worry about is, I don't think there's any question about the way we went about this season. Once we realized that we were not a playoff team, we've got a lot of young players on this team that we were trying to prepare for the future, that we gave playing time in amounts that they probably didn't deserve, but in terms of looking ahead. And I think everybody understood what we were doing, and I think some of the guys a guy like Vin Baker for sure, matured a lot, became a much better player because of what we did. And I think our players understood. I talked to them. I tried to spend a lot of time communicating to them about what we were trying to do. And losing's not easy for anybody. And I don't want anybody on my team who comes to like it. But I think our guys will not have a carryover for next year.
Mike, congratulations.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. The Bucks have the #1 pick. Nothing is definite, but Glenn Robinson's name was prominently mentioned. By way of review, here's the order of selection for next month's draft. The first pick, of course, belongs to the Milwaukee Bucks, then Dallas. Detroit is #3. Minnesota gets the 4th pick. Washington #5. Philadelphia, the Clippers, Sacramento, Boston, the Lakers, and finally Seattle picking up Charlotte's selection through a trade. We'll send it back to the Garden for the second half of the Knicks and the Bulls. New York up by 1 in Game 7. Marv Albert and Matt Goukas will rejoin you right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Tonight, It all comes down to this. The breathtaking season finale.
Let's go to alert on all stations.
The Sequest must make the ultimate sacrifice.
Attention all personnel. We are abandoning Sequest.
To save mankind, she must destroy herself.
3, 2, 1.
Who will survive? This is it, the season finale. All new Sequest, 8, 7 Central, NBC tonight.
If you're looking for a full-size truck, there's plenty to choose from. Till you look at the Chevy CK 1500. Beats all these? Well, CK has 2-tier loading and more horsepower than Ford. Oops. Dodge Ram 4x4 doesn't have as much clearance or torque. I see. And Dakota can't match the horsepower, torque, and towing. Even the head, shoulder, and hip room of the Chevy CK. My choices are narrowing, but there is a bright spot. Pick from the longest-lasting trucks in America. Come see all the CK models at your local Chevy Geo dealer.
How many boat dealers would you have to go to in order to see 4,000 boats and 3,000 motors? Answer, 1. Link Recreational, Minong, Wisconsin, the world's largest Evinrude outboards dealer. With that kind of selection, friendly, no-pressure salespeople, 5 acres of heated showrooms, bank financing, and unbeatable prices, why travel all over? Take the small trip to Link and save big. Link Recreational, Minong, Wisconsin, the world's largest Evinrude outboards motor dealer.
There's only one beer with pure refreshment written all over it. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft and MGD Light. Why so many people are getting out of the old and into the cold.
WEAU-TV 13, Eau Claire.
The Chicago Bulls making their way back out of the floor here at Madison Square Garden. Marv Albert, Matt Goukas, and Ahmad Rashad as we get set for the second half. The Knicks with that 1-point lead over the Bulls. And Matt, despite the fact that Patrick Ewing in his 15 minutes of playing time in the first half did not score.
And much of it has been the inability of the Knicks to deliver the ball to Patrick where and when he wants it. They've got to reverse the ball and screen across, but you got to give a lot of credit to Bill Cartwright for bumping him, pushing him, knocking him off the block, and just not letting Patrick get comfortable.
Ewing 0 for 3 in his 15 minutes. Let's check out the Miller Genuine Draft halftime stats. The Bulls at 15 of 34. That's 44% shooting. The Knicks only 15 of 43, 35%. You see the stats on Ewing. Meanwhile, Charles Oakley and Charles Smith have done a nice job bouncing back from Game 6 on Friday night. In the rebounding department, the Bulls with a slight edge, and Scottie Pippen has come out strong. A first half that has seen 10 points and 9 rebounds. Scottie 4 of 11 from the field and 2 out of 4 from the foul line. And perhaps some advice from his college coach, John Thompson. Words between Patrick Ewing, John Thompson. I don't know. John's psyching him up here for the second half. We'll be back at the Garden in a moment.
The new 1994 Acura Integra. Not since Hot Wheels has a car been this far. Tracks sold separately.
'77, butterfly collar. Walk outside with that on in San Antonio, now you'll burn up. But George, tell us about that finger roll from the free throw line.
Yeah, that was my patented. That was my patented shot. One thing I could do was finger roll.
You brought us down.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Protect to the max. Performax. Pennzoil's most advanced synthetic motor oil. For cold engine starts, Performax flows when the engine goes. On hot engine parts, Performax keeps it cool, keeps on protecting. Performax from Pennzoil protects to the max. Now, buy Performax and get up to a $6 rebate. Details at participating locations.
Wednesday on an all-new Unsolved Mysteries 2-hour special. Was this girl saved by an angel?
Something strange happened.
Capturing Bigfoot.
I've seen one. I know it exists.
Why is the government looking for him? And her sister can save her life.
The end is coming.
Do you know where she is? All new Unsolved Mysteries 2-hour special, NBC Wednesday.
Well, for Pat Riley and Phil Jackson, it has come down to this. The second half about to start. 7th deciding game. Series tied at 3. Indiana Pacers waiting to face the winner. The Knicks and Bulls meeting in the playoffs for the 4th straight year. 5th time the last 6 years. The Bulls have won all 5 of their all-time playoff series against the Knicks. The chant of "Let's Go Knicks." Game that has been tight right throughout. Biggest lead for the Bulls, a margin of 3. The Knicks in one stretch, a brief one, led by as many as 5 points. Scottie Pippen is the high man with 10. Horace Grant with 8, but Grant not doing it off the boards. 6 apiece for Pete Myers and Tony Kukoc. Charles Oakley, 6 of 12 from the field for his 12 points. Carl Smith played well. He has 9. Derek Harper and Hubert Davis with 6 apiece.
Well, in the middle of the series, Pat Riley and the Knicks were being criticized for not getting Patrick Ewing enough shots, and Pat said, no, Patrick Ewing is just not about shooting for this team. We got to have to do a lot of other things. Pass the ball, play defense, be a presence in the middle.